Alrighty then. Yo, what's up guys? It's me, Spider1 here, and welcome back to another video on the channel. So for this video, I was going to make this like my normal videos where I just cut up in between me talking and getting some kills and stuff, and going through the different matches of me playing through the beta to get to level 30. But I decided to do something different with this game this year, or with this video. Instead, in the background gameplay that you're going to be seeing this, because this is a voiceover, in the background gameplay you're going to see me getting to level 30 and a few games past that as I talk about the beta and basically just make my review of the beta and what I think needs to be changed and all that stuff. During this gameplay, I do end up playing a mix of the skill-based matchmaking playlist and the open playlist, so I will show you when I switch over to each playlist. And first in this video, I will be talking about zombies, as that will probably be the shorter section of this video. And then the second section of this video is where I will be talking about multiplayer, as I mostly play multiplayer, and it will be a little bit longer than the zombies section of this video. And then I'll get into a few topics after talking about multiplayer that I just thought I might as well bring up. The timestamps will be in the description on different sections of the video, so then you can skip around it and you can go to whichever topic you'd like to hear my opinion on. I guess. So here we go. So the first section of this video, I will be talking about zombies, and I will start off this section by saying that I don't really play zombies for like Easter eggs, and I mostly just play it as like a casual to see how far I can go, and sometimes just to take a break from multiplayer and play something different essentially, so then I can still be like leveling up weapons and stuff. Which I did end up getting the calling card for surviving 50 rounds, and I just followed a guide that I saw on YouTube, which what it basically was you just used a perkaholic and a wonder bar to get the ray gun from the mystery box, and then after that you'd pack a punch the ray gun and just shoot at the floor to progress through the rounds. And then during the rounds where an elite enemy and the like crawlers or whatever would spawn in, then you just start up the saw blade trap, which is probably the same thing that most people did to get this calling card, but I just thought that I might as well point that out. So as for the pros of zombies, I'd say that this game is probably nearly identical to Black Ops 6, so if you enjoyed that game, then you'll probably enjoy this one as well. I do like to play Black Ops 6 zombies for the most part, so I think I will have fun on it. And also I did like the pack-a-punch camos that you would get. Sometimes these camos can be hit or miss, and it seems like these ones are actually pretty decent this year. As for the cons of zombies this year, I would say that I just don't really like the HUD of the game. But from what I know, I think that they're going to change it once the game releases. Plus, past that, I think they'll also be able to change the HUD in the settings, so it's not really anything to be too worried about, to be completely fair. And the other thing that I will mention is when I did do the round 50 stuff, I did the exfil on round 51. Currently, I do not know if this is just how it is or how it's like meant to be, but I think the circle that you fight in starts to shrink up and do more damage as time goes on, like in Warzone. It could have just been the bees that were coming from the zombie, but I just currently do not know. And I just know that I went down and needed stims just to survive with the amount of damage that I was taking, and for all I know, this could have just been because it was run on round 51, but to be honest with you, I just don't entirely know. And the other thing that I will say for the cons is that it kind of just does feel like Black Ops 6, so if you didn't really like Black Ops 6, then probably not going to enjoy zombies this year, and you're probably just going to think that it's like a repeat of last year. Which overall, I did enjoy my time on zombies just to see, and could see myself going for the camos. There isn't much to say in this section in any rate, as it was only a survival map and we haven't played the full map yet. I'm hoping that the zombies in the main game will be fun, but we'll have to wait and see. Could be another transit situation where we're just waiting for Season 1 to come along for another map, other than the main map that they started the game off with. So here we go with the multiplayer section of this video, which I am a multiplayer guy myself, and I will be talking about multiplayer more than zombies. I will say that I also got the calling card for getting 1,000 kills, but that was the next night and not during this recording. As for the pros, the first thing that I will say is that I like the gameplay. There were some nights that I wasn't feeling it, but then I went back on the next night and really enjoyed myself. I think that could be because of the skill-based matchmaking or because of the open playlist, but overall it was kind of a mixed bag, but I did truthfully enjoy it. And just with like the new additions, like the wall jumping, where the wall jumping is a little bit gimmicky for me. I do like to move around the map, but I guess I'll just have to get used to it in the full game and whatnot. Or like, I like the wall jumping to like move around the map. It seemed pretty fun. I also did end up turning on the auto wall jump, or whatever it was called in the settings. It kind of felt like the Black Ops 3 wall running, and how the game would just stick you to the wall. And because it was like, sometimes I couldn't always double press A to jump off the wall or whatever. And so, or with my paddle at least, so I just decided to turn that on. This setting did get me, or did mess me up a few times, but I can get used to it, to be truthfully honest with you, and I'll probably turn that on in the full game. I did enjoy the maps overall, even though they did start to feel a little repetitive. I know that when the full game comes out, there will be 16 maps, and it won't feel as repetitive, as there will be more maps to play, so you won't be like playing the same maps over and over and over. So I'm not too worried about that. I will also say that this game looks like Black Ops 6, but with more futuristic setting, which personally I didn't mind all that much. The flow of the maps seemed pretty good as well. There were some times where you didn't find anybody, and other times where you would find everyone. I guess it all really comes down to the players and how they're moving throughout the map, and if people are camping or not. I think the pacing of the gameplay overall was pretty good, and maybe a little too fast for some people, but I didn't truthfully mind it. I think that the weapons were all pretty good. Like most game, it does, or like most Call of Duty games as of this point, it does become a game of attachments, which, to point out one weapon was the VSR. But once you get them, or once you got them, then the weapons did feel pretty good. I will say some weapon balance would be nice, but I will get into that in the con section. The last thing that I will say is that I enjoyed the music in all modes, which zombies is included. I don't know if it's really the dubstep or the electronic music side of me talking, but I think the music fit well with the game, and I really did like it. Sadly, I do not have the loading in music that I really liked hearing whenever I would hear it, which I think it was on the gilded side of the teams, and it would have this like dubstep-y type of intro, which kind of reminds me of Black Ops 2, and that's probably why I enjoyed the music in this game.
Overload. Sabotage enemy zones with the overload device.
Deploy CUAV in my AO. Tackle, release skewer on me.
We have the overload device.
So as for the cons of the game, which I know that I talked about this in the pros, but my first con would be the weapon balance. which the most overused guns in the game were the M15 and the Dravik 45, and I think that they need to be toned down a little bit, personally. The only thing that I will say is just because a gun is overused does not mean that it's overpowered, but in most scenarios, I was dying to either of these two weapons before, whenever I was using some other weapons. And no, I was not just using a sniper during the entire beta, I was actually running around and using different weapons, and I was dying to these two weapons in most case scenarios. To me, the auto maps on the doors were a little strange. I think that I like that they're back, but I think that they also need to be opened. It would cause the map to be a little bit more chaotic, and that's probably why they don't just do that, so I get where they're coming from for that. Maybe they still need to increase the range at which the door opens and how long it stays open for, but I think I overall enjoy the automatic doors more than I do the manual doors. The next con for me would kind of just be in a way the movement, but in specifically the perk Dexterity. I think that the fact that they took the normal BO6 mechanic and turned it into a perk set some people off. And I would say myself included, but you kind of get where they're coming from. From what I could tell though, I think it was the main perk that people were running in that slot. Plus, they have perk greed and specialist coming back, so maybe they don't need to change it around, but I guess we'll see what happens, which they've already talked about it, and I don't know that they're going to end up making changes to that, but we will see. So for this next little thing, I was going to add both persistent lobbies and matchmaking into this section of the video, but I'll say that for another like little section of this video, as they came out with some stuff on it. I think some things need to be a little bit more balanced out as a whole. I'm mostly just talking perks, lethals, tacticals, and field upgrades, because I know that some lethals and field upgrades were getting used more than others, and they were getting used more than others for good reasons, which that's why you kind of need to like balance these things out. And they kind of just outshined other things in their categories. Some grenades were doing a little bit more damage than others, and while people might just say run flak jacket, I think that they just need to do a little less damage or be a little bit slowed down to have time to maybe get away from them. And that's mostly being the cluster grenade, but at the end of the day, I guess you just have to run flak jacket. Which is one of the perks that I will say, or that I'll probably end up using. The next con that I will have to say is that I've seen this on a few videos, but I think that the train section of the map on Toshin should be opened up. I'm going to try showing you what I mean, but I think you just need to add another way to get into this section of the map, because people were either all there or nobody was there whatsoever, and you were kind of just running through an empty section of the map. And if I couldn't find a clip of it, then the section of the map that I'm talking about was like the train station type section of the map, and how there's like a train that's kind of like sticking out of the wall to get to like the middle area of the map. I feel like that train that like sticks out into like the middle area needs to be opened up, just so then you can get into like the middle section of the map easier from either there, or you can get to the train station section. And then from the top of my head, I think that this was all that I could tell was for a con for me. Probably missed out on some stuff, but I don't usually go fully in depth about things on my channel, as you should all know. So just because I didn't talk about it here does not mean it wasn't in the game or I didn't experience it. It just means that I don't fully remember everything when I came to write out this video and when I'm deciding to record this video, which there are a few other cons that I can think of, but I don't know. They'll probably get sorted out. So overall, I did enjoy time with the beta. I think that some things need to be figured out, and with the time between now and launch, I think they'll be able to do it. And with the competition of Battlefield 6, I think that they're going to be able to figure these things out, and or there's going to be a few patches within like the first week or so of the game coming out with things. I don't know what I'm saying entirely. Anyways, so the next section of this video is going to be just a few topics that I wanted to go over. And the first topic that I decided to go over was, or that I'm going to be going over, sorry, is the open versus skill-based matchmaking options. I think that open-based matchmaking probably here was the better play, which you get into lobbies a lot quicker, and it seems like the game can manage to balance out these teams pretty good, with those odd exceptions. When I played the open mosh pit, I kind of just stayed on the game for longer durations and just went with the flow of the game and had a great time, even playing longer than I would have normally with skill-based matchmaking on. On the other hand, the skill-based matchmaking playlist is a little strange. If you do good one game, you're probably guaranteed to get punished the next few games, and whenever I was playing on the beta, that seemed to be the case. Which, the skill-based matchmaking playlist obviously took for a little bit longer to get into a match, which is why I mostly played open throughout this entire beta. And back to that like little pummeled thing, that's kind of just been the standard since Modern Warfare 2019, and I felt like I wanted to get off the game faster if I was playing in the skill-based matchmaking mode, where during the open playlist I would stay on for a little bit longer. So on the topic of these two playlists, and at the end of the beta, the easiest thing that Activision and Call of Duty and Treyarch as a whole could have said regarding like the open versus skill-based matchmaking is that they saw player numbers in each playlist, but they wanted to keep the game with skill-based matchmaking. Even if that is the wrong thing to do, which, to be completely fair, I think that it is. And I think the only reason why they would have said that is to keep the newer players away from the players who have been playing since launch, and or the people who are just buying this game as their first Call of Duty. But Call of Duty and Treyarch came out with a blog post saying that they're going forward with the open-based matchmaking in the full game of Black Ops 7, and it's basically going to act just as similar to what the open playlist was in the beta. And overall, I think that this was the right thing to do. I just found myself wanting to play the game for longer durations, and I also really wanted just to play the beta, and it just kept me playing the game as a whole. Going back to the topic of the skill-based matchmaking and wanting to like protect newer players from like veteran players, I think what they could do is make a beginner playlist type idea, like something what XDefiant did with their welcome playlist in the game, so that players could get used to the game, and after they hit a certain level, let them be free into the actual playlist. Which, what I'm thinking that they could do for this playlist is that it's only available to a certain level of players, like 20 or 30, and only those players can get into it. If you have prestige, then you wouldn't be able to get into this playlist. So basically what I'm saying for this playlist is that it would be for players that are no prestige level 20 or 30, and just for those newer players that won't get the game at launch. So basically just like a playlist for newer players to not get pummeled almost immediately, and then kind of after they get to level like 20 or 30, then they get set into like the normal playlist, and then by that point they should be used to the game. Which, if you did end up playing XDefiant, then you'd probably get what I mean by this here. if they did this type of thing, then I think it would work out great for them personally. And in my personal opinion, the only section of this game that should have skill-based matchmaking is ranked, as when you get better at the game, that will determine your skill gap. It should be the main making type in ranked, as it will determine where you stand and how high of a rank you can get. Every game that had skill-based matchmaking as the normal option felt like each game was a competitive match, but with the open, it was a little bit more laid back, with those odd games being a little bit of a sweat fest. And as far as the open versus skill-based matchmaking for next year's game, which is Modern Warfare 4, I'm not sure, but I think that there is a possibility, but I'm hoping that that does not end up happening. I guess it's up to Infinity Ward and Activision, and you already know that when Infinity Ward designs something in a game, they usually stick to it and don't really listen to the player feedback, which Modern Warfare 2 as an example. The other topic is the Disbanding Lobbies, which I think that Disbanding Lobbies thing was also there, only a part of the game because of skill-based matchmaking. Because when your skill would increase, then, or when your skill-based matchmaking essentially would change, then you'd get a lobby of new players, and I think that Disbanding Lobbies was only there just because of skill-based matchmaking, which alongside them confirming open matchmaking will be the main matchmaking type in Black Ops 7. They also confirmed that Disbanding Lobbies won't be happening anymore, or not as often, which I guess it really all just depends on which modes and stuff you select, and then it'll kind of just base players off of those modes and kind of continue on from there. Which during this beta I did have a few times where the same people were in the lobbies as me, and it was a fun time when the teams got switched up and you didn't really know what was going to happen, which this was kind of just like the old school Call of Duty games. Which, for Disbanding Lobbies, I did like staying in lobbies with people, as that's sometimes how you found new friends and can make some friendly rivals, kind of just like in the old school game. Which, overall, I'm glad that it's going back to the way it was, and it's how it should have been from the start and never changed in the first place, along with the skill-based matchmaking shit. So here comes the main question of, am I going to be getting Black Ops 7, or will I be getting Battlefield 6? Which, I don't think I'm going to end up getting Battlefield 6, and I kind of have a few reasonings for why. I do like to play those games, but I feel like whenever I get off of them, that I never seem to want to go back onto them. I do have both Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1, and I don't remember the last time that I played either of those games. And while those games and I sometimes have some fun moments, I don't think that I'll be making the switch this year. Also, if you kind of count it, I do own Star Wars Battlefront 2 and BattleBit Remastered, which both of those games are kind of similar to Battlefield. And it's kind of the same thing for those games. Played them for a little while and just eventually ended up leaving them. And I kind of just never went back onto them. I will also say that I never played the open beta for Battlefield 6, so if you don't want to consider anything that I said, then I don't mind at all. The only case scenario I think I see myself in the hands of Battlefield 6 is if they screw up big time with the launch of Black Ops 7, and that's probably the only case scenario, if I can think of it. If you're thinking of playing any game with friends though, buy the game that your friends are getting. I think that Battlefield 6 will be the better game for you and your friends if you have a mix of skill level. but I could see Black Ops 7 coming on top as well because it's going back to the open matchmaking. I don't hate Battlefield as a whole or anything. If this is how it sounds, I hope both games come out great and that they can both make great games. It creates some sort of a competition in the gaming industry, and usually with that, you see bigger changes to games that will be for the player base rather than against. Obviously, having competition in the game means that each studio is going to kind of try to like one-up each other and make the better games overall. And the main thing that I will add is that if Battlefield 6 does go on sale and people seem to be enjoying it, I may pick it up during that time. Overall, it seems to be a great game so far, and from what I can tell. And that may just be because it just recently got released, so I'll have to see how it goes with time. But if it lives up to the hype for a while, then I'll probably get it whenever the game goes on sale. So why did I end up choosing Black Ops 7 as my main game? It's mostly because I like the chaotic energy that comes with Call of Duty games, and I see myself enjoying those games more, even when they do start to fall or fail. I feel that it's because Call of Duty also has me hooked to their games, and while I don't mind it, I feel like that's where I'll be going. I also like the camo grind in these games, and while Battlefield 6 does have some sort of a camo grind, I don't think that it would be enough to like pull me over to that game. But sometimes I feel like Call of Duty has more stuff to do, and with Black Ops 7, that just seems to be the current case. And it just seems like Battlefield kind of just gets repetitive, where Call of Duty, it's kind of a mixed match on what you can do, or on what's going to end up happening. I will also mention that I do play solo, and since you make your own decisions as a solo player, I feel like I'll probably enjoy Black Ops 7 more, and I'll get my money's worth of that out of that game compared to Battlefield 6, which is why I'm probably going to end up getting Battlefield 6 if I do end up getting it when it goes on sale. The one thing that I will say is that if you have the money to buy both games, then I'd probably say buy both. I will also say that you're waiting for the launch of either game, which Battlefield 6 has already come out, then that's an option as well, and get started in the game a bit into its life cycle. If you only have money to buy one game or the other, I'd say to get the game that most of your friends are buying. If that is Black Ops 7, then I'd say to get that game. Or if it is Battlefield 6, then I'd say to get that game as well. Or it's just you stand in the middle and you won't be getting either game, which I don't blame you for your decision. It just means that you're not a part of this, or these two different communities that kind of just like to fight with each other based off of which game is better. Which, my overall thoughts as a whole is that I hope that both Black Ops 7 and Battlefield 6 see the numbers that they want to see, and each have a great player base. Obviously, there is going to be one game that stands above them all, and personally I think that that's going to probably be Battlefield 6, just from what I've been seeing and hearing, but you never know. Currently with Black Ops 7 though, I currently like where it stands right now, and after a few tweaks, I think that this game would be great, which overall, I had a fun time during this beta, and I hope that carries forward to the full game's release. I think that in a way this year will be another Modern Warfare 2, like 2022 to Modern Warfare 3 2023 year for this game, and that's what it seems to be heading in. So basically Modern Warfare 2 is kind of like the Black Ops 6, and Modern Warfare 3 is the Black Ops 7 of this current Call of Duty cycle. I'll save anything that I want to mention for like the Black Ops 6 side of things when I come around to making the final video on that game, which will be another one of those seasons video like how I did last year with Modern Warfare 3. Besides that, I really hope that this game lives up to the expectations that it's currently setting for this year, and I hope that we don't have a flop of a game. I know that I'll be on this game and going for camos like always. I will say that I'll probably end up going for multiplayer camos first, and then I'll head my way to either zombies or campaign for the camo grinds there, depending on what the challenges are in both. Which I'll kind of just have to see which one or what the camo challenges are in each of these modes to basically like say, oh yeah, I'm gonna be going for this camo. But as a standard, you can expect that I'm gonna go for the multiplayer camos, and I'll head my way either into zombies or campaign for those camo grinds. And whenever the full game gets released, then I will kind of just give my final thoughts on which camos I'm going to be going for. Which I will say that I could have made this video into like the cut-com style video that I decided to do, but I thought that this would be something new, and I just decided to do something new this year and decided to make this like a voiceover video where I have just different gameplay in the background, and I hope it turned out better than what the original plan was, which, to be honest with you, I don't know. But so yeah, I guess that's really been it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely do not forget to leave a like on this video. Definitely do not forget to comment down below on what else you'd like to see from the channel and your overall thoughts on the beta and where you'll be going between Black Ops 7 and Battlefield 6, which I don't mind either way, and that you're going because you are your own person and you can make your own decisions. And definitely do not forget to subscribe for more to come out into the future, because you know, with my channel there will always be more videos coming out in the future, even when it seems like there isn't. And also turn on the bell notification if you do end up subscribing. But yeah guys, I guess it's been me, Spider-Irvin1, and peace out.